Hello, I'm just launching right into it. This is a special a couple episodes, 3 of them. You're going to expect brand new weird content. It's happening. It So anyway, Windows sucks is all I'm going to say. Windows is a pile of trash. I'm going to start this, by the way. And everyone's been having a problem with Windows. Don't worry, this is going somewhere. Everyone's been having a problem with Windows where when you update your copy of Windows and it says "damned be to you and all of your loved ones," and a pox on your cat, and also all of your audio problems. You just get a bunch of audio problems. So I recorded 3 episodes of Tales of Maj'Eyal and an episode of Isaac, which I don't know if you want to be in that one, Jamie.
I feel like I would have less to add to the conversation, but I'd still be willing to.
I figure I'll get you and Jacob in, and it's fine because there's really nothing to add to that. It'll just be one big podcast, and we're just gonna talk through this we're just gonna podcast this content. It'll be good.
It'll be so podcast.
It's gonna be pretty podcast. The 10 or 20 people who watch my Tales of Maj'Eyal content are question marking right now because they didn't watch my Spelunky content. How dare you, honestly? And they never got the podcast reference. But
well, now you have a reason to go and watch all those.
And then we'll have a reason to do more. Because as it stands, there is none.
Other than the fact that it's the best game in the world.
Like I said, absolutely no reason to do more Spelunky 2 content for my channel.
I'm offended greatly. By the way, I don't know if it's just on the Discord, but it's only taking up like a quarter of the. That's
a problem I can't fix.
Okay, but it's not showing up on the video or anything.
Wait, what's not showing up on the video?
Like it doesn't look like the game is only taking up like 3/4 of the screen in OBS.
Oh. What? I'm very confused.
Like you know what I mean in Discord, the gameplay, like in your screen share. I mean.
Yeah.
It only takes up like 3/4 of the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's on Discord's end. That's not
okay.
My recording. Fortunately, the video was not also completely screwed up by the Windows update. Just the audio, and I just now realized I should check to see that the audio is actually, in fact, recording now, and it is.
Yeah, I was going to recommend that to you. Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it is. No, as soon as I spotted the problem, I'm like, oh, okay, and then I fixed it. But damn. So I'm coming up to this is a new town I discovered. I didn't know. I think this is another starting zone that one of the other races started. It seems like, I don't know. I think it's the ranger town. Like it just seems like this is the place to go if you want ranger stuff.
Oh yeah. You know what? I have been here before. So how far did you get? Like, which dungeons did you do with this character?
Oh, I mean, I can't spoil it now.
No, I mean, like in your previous episodes.
Oh, okay. Well,
I haven't gotten to that point.
It doesn't even watch my. So I
I'm on like episode 5.
I thought I told I basically entered Celia's tomb, and then it sealed up, and then I was trapped in a tomb with like this level 30 monster.
Yeah, that's like way higher level than you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a death trap. That's actually how I had my first death in my best run.
Dang.
Recently.
I actually I left. I didn't quite complete the. Wait, did I complete the Into the Darkness? I thought maybe I did or didn't. I guess I don't think I did. I bailed on the last zone because it was actually so tough that like I was getting completely wrecked by like the frost giants.
Yeah.
And so I bailed, and then it was like, hey, there's a disaster happening in Dearth. You should go and fix that.
Right.
And then I had that quest, and I guess I like decided to explore outside of my like area, and then I got entombed with some kind of lich queen.
Yeah, that is a really tough dungeon. I found that the minimum levels recommendations in this are way more generous than it should be, to me at least. Like it'll say minimum level 10, and I'm like, okay, so you mean like 13
Yeah,
by my standards.
it seems to me it tells me that all of the Into the Darkness dungeons are like minimum level 7. They
Oh,
all seem to
really?
be they
Wow.
all seem to be minimum level 7.
Okay.
My theory is that they do scale. I feel like they do scale a little bit. But I could be totally wrong about that. I feel like if you do one, then the other ones get more difficult.
Okay. I haven't found that to be the case, but I guess I've been doing them mostly in the same order. Sometimes I'll do the maze and the sandworm lair out of order, but mostly I'll do old forest and then uh, sandworm, and then I'll do maze and then Daikara.
I've like exclusively done the maze first, and then done this time I did the sandworm first, but I usually do the forest not first, second. I do the forest second, but this time I was like that the forest kind of wrecked me pretty good, so I'm gonna try and do the sandworm second, and I think it did work out a little bit better for me, but also I think that the forest was just a little bit kinder this time around.
Yeah, it definitely. There's like different bosses sometimes. I've noticed like you can find a completely different boss. I was in the old forest, I think in my last run, and I didn't even realize that I had killed the final boss because I was expecting the big tree, like the ant or whatever,
Oh,
and I didn't even notice, and I got the quest progression thing, and I was like, oh, I won, I did it.
jeez. Okay, so I didn't even know that. I figured it was the same boss every time, because I've always had the same bosses every time.
I might be thinking of a different dungeon, but you definitely can get different bosses. In fact, I had this really weird thing happen where I went to Trollmire, and the layout was completely different. It actually looked like a mire, like it was a swamp, and I had
Huh.
a different boss at the end. Instead of like Prox the Mighty, it was like something the Slimy or something, which I thought was kind of funny because it was in
Huh.
a swamp. So
That's really cool. We'll actually see. Like I had a dramatically different sandworm layer, and
oh, I think I might know what you're talking about because I just had that.
it was really cool. But yeah, we'll get to it. I guess spoilers. I defeat this like level 1 starter dungeon here, and this is just me like I wish I could find a better way of doing this, but I just like have these long segments where I'm like reading the build guide, and I'm like, what have I taken? Should I take this? Am I supposed to take something else? And it's all a little bit probably tedious to watch. But no, yeah, I got a dramatically different sandworm layer and a different forest because there was something in my boss zone that I'll explore, which is pretty interesting. It definitely was something like I did not expect any, and I'm actually really impressed that with like how much variety Tales of Maj'Eyal has.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really kind of leans into like every run is a little bit different,
Yeah,
which is really
especially
cool.
with just like the sheer amount of like build differences. Like they could have just done that and left it there, like just had all the variety be in the different builds, but there really is just so much like difference between every run, which actually makes it really difficult as a beginning. As
Yeah,
cool as it is, it makes the game really hard.
but I will say like yeah, it's hard to like get it like, I don't know, your ability to progress in Tales of Maj'Eyal is not as grounded in like past knowledge of like what you've defeated. You do kind of have to think on your toes a little bit more. But I will say that I find Tales of Maj'Eyal to be one of the kindest roguelikes. Actually, it
How so?
it like doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't put me in as many situations where I feel like penned in or like constantly at danger. Like definitely I'll roll badly a few times. Like you get like a little bit later I'll get ambushed, and that just sucked. Like, you know, the ambushes suck. And sometimes like, you know, I got Celia tombed. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's bad. But like I don't feel constantly like at death's door. And it actually gives you quite a bit of flexibility to like figure a situation out. And since you have like so many different skills and so many tools in your arsenal, and like never mind equipment you can find that can also like give you even more abilities and more tools.
Yeah.
I find that Tales of Maj'Eyal is actually one of the more like forgiving roguelikes. You're given a lot of chances to kind of what's the term, like to kind of figure out or get on top of a dangerous situation.
I can definitely agree with that. I got this ability in my last run. I've been playing an Archmage, and they have this ability. They have a whole skill tree that's all like teleportation based.
Oh shit.
And I was using this teleport spell for like since the beginning of my run, and I didn't realize, but you can actually target a like any creature to teleport. So I started like realizing like, oh, I can just teleport enemies around to like places that are a lot more convenient for me. And then I even realized like I kept on killing my escorts on accident because
Oh no.
like all of my spells were just like really sort of chaotic and had like big AoE. I just kept on accidentally killing them, and then I realized like, hey, I could just teleport my escort like really far away and then use my AoE. Like there's just so many like really creative and like there's just no end to the possibilities with all your skills. It's a lot of fun.
That's like, it's the moments are like those are honestly kind of make a lot of the grind of roguelikes like really worth it. Like if you ever get like, you ever feel like get that realization, or I guess just realize that like you can use these two things together, or you'll get something like I don't know, like my wizard hat, and then like the one that was like just damaging everything, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
the
hey,
Stormcaller.
I could totally like use this with like something else, or like you know, instead of building a sword and board, you just build a board, you just turtle completely, and then you could like, you know, entomb yourself, and just like everything would take damage while you just kind of like bunker down.
Yeah, there's just so many fun different build options. It's really cool.
I was like, my last Caves of Cud playthrough had that realization of like, hey, I could, you know, grenades are actually really good, but they also can hurt me, like, you know, flashbangs or gas grenades, or you know, there's another one, there's like another effects one.
Seems like there's a lot of them in that game, a lot of different grenades.
But if you go tinkering, which I at some point in my tutorial I'm probably going to talk about, like how basically every character you make should probably be a tinkerer. You can just like make goggles that defend yourself, or you could fit your face mask with filters, so you're not affected by the gas, and then you just go full grenades.
Oh, that's really cool.
And then like you know, couple that with like having an army of followers that you've gained via reputation, you can just like make a bunch of goggles for all of them, and then like have this army of of like, bears wearing goggles, and then you're just like throwing flash grenades. And
That's fun. I'm wanting to get back into that game sometime. I got a little frustrated at just not knowing enough about the game. It just felt really overwhelming, just the amount of stuff that I didn't know about. But yeah, that game is something that I'm definitely gonna come back to.
I can get that for sure. I mean, like that, my last run literally ended in me going from like completely full health to one shot killed, and that's
Yeah,
rough.
that's never fun.
I understand. Like, I think it's important to like reflect on how that happens. Like, what part did I play in that? Because I for sure played a part. There's no way that it's just like there was nothing I could do.
Yeah, like went into a little bit over leveled area maybe.
Yeah, or I think in my case it was that I didn't do enough crowd control. And like I could have stopped that, like basically the creature that one shot me. I could have stopped it from being created.
Hmm.
So it's like you can once you figure out like the what went wrong, you're better equipped next time you go through it.
Yeah, it's pretty discouraging in a like especially like a traditional roguelike where it is so grindy. It's like it's fine. I don't mind permadeath in some games, but whenever you do spend hours and hours like building up this character and then for it to all go south in the span of a second, it's a little demoralizing.
That's why I like adventure mode, because at least you get a couple of deaths. You can't really
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
can't be mad at that point. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I have to start from scratch now, but at least I had like four chances to make good of this run.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been yeah, just doing adventure mode thus far. I have done a little bit of roguelike on easy difficulty, but I am enjoying the adventure mode.
It's funny to me that more like I don't know. Honestly, Tales of Maj'Eyal is the first roguelike I've played with like an easy mode. That's probably not true. I think Dungeon Man's also had one, but I guess
I
it's the
think
first time I've like humored it.
this is actually the first true roguelike that I've played before. So this is about the extent of my knowledge on roguelikes, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? I mean, I've played CUD and Dungeon Man's. Dungeon Man's, I want to like Dungeon Man's, but there are a couple things that bother me about it.
I don't
Um,
know that I've heard of it before. I should look it up right now.
Sorry, Dungeon Man fans. I know you're out there, and I know you don't agree with me, and that's fine. Please, and uh, God, Adam, Ancient Domains of Mystery.
Oh, that's your favorite one, right?
Yeah, that's that one. I like that one almost as much as Spelunky 2, for different reasons,
Oh
but
no.
that one is right up there with Spelunky 2 and Bad Rats and
Glad
Dark
I have
Souls
that
2.
game. I had a friend who gifted it to me like years ago.
You know they made a sequel?
I don't even know anything about it. I never even booted it up or anything.
It's actually not like an absolute trash game. Like there's so many worse games.
Yeah,
It looks like garbage.
I have to imagine it's just the idea of it being a rat thing. I don't know.
It's basically I think it's just like a have you ever played Incredible Machine?
No.
It's I mean that's an older game now, but there are like um ish games or like games that are similar to Incredible Machine. I think there's one that called like Crazy Machines, which is a little bit similar. I think the Bridge Constructor games are a little bit similar, but it's more like tapping into that. God, what are they called? When you have like a series of contraptions that are like set to trigger each other.
Oh, like Mousetrap, like a Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, Rube Goldberg. Yeah, Rube Goldberg. It's a Rube Goldberg like designer, but it's also like a puzzle game. So you're like meant to put in the final couple of pieces to make sure it all goes according to plan.
That's what Bad Rats is.
It's ish to that. So I
Okay.
think in that one you're meant to ensure that the rats get killed.
Oh, oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously it doesn't look pleasant, and I know it's not probably a very good game, but like I think about a really bad game, what that actually looks like. It's like, you know, not only are the graphics bad, but like it's barely playable, or even just like a good game that's been spoiled by bad controls or something that's like buggy and like crashes a lot. It's pretty, like, I know my bar is, I'm setting it quite low here. Maybe this is the hot take, is that Bad Rats. How did we get started talking about Bad Rats? I don't know.
I think we're talking about Adam and Splunky too.
Oh yeah, Adam. What a great game that is. I love that game. Especially the interface.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
The interface is amazing. As is yeah, it's just good. It's
I
great.
honestly can't imagine like the last time I played like a game that I just absolutely hated. I don't know if I just have a really high tolerance for that kind of stuff, but I just like, I mean, there are games that I don't really like that much and have no desire to go back to, but I've never played a game where I'm like, man, I wish I just didn't ever have this game.
I
I don't know.
thought, not to throw you under the bus, but I thought you had similar feelings about Metroid Prime.
Yeah, even that, like I don't like that game, and I definitely like was surprised. Like I played it and I was like, man, I can't wait to see other people's opinions on it and if it's the same as mine because I bet that they hate this game also like me. And I was like, what? It's like one of people's like favorite Metroid games. Like how could this be? But no, I don't. Yeah, I still enjoyed playing it if even if I didn't like it. Like I don't know, it's a video game. Like you play them for fun. Like I
Well,
wouldn't have finished it if I had hated it that much.
to go full circle, what we need to do is get you to play Metroid Other M. And if you like that game, then there's no saving you. It's just like cast into the depths.
I own it. I just haven't gotten around to playing it. I played like half of the series in like there was one summer where I was like, I've never played Metroid. I'm going to play the entire series now. And I think I have every Metroid game. And I haven't played all of them. I got to like Prime 3 and I just got bored of Prime 3 and then stopped, which is like halfway through the series, I think. But honestly, like I really wish I had just played like the first four 2D, like the actual Metroidvania Metroid games, and then just called it quits there because I just don't care about the rest of the franchise like at all.
That's that's like a shame, but also it doesn't bother me at all. Have you played Hollow Knight? Maybe that'd be more your cup of
I
tea.
bet I would enjoy Hollow Knight. I haven't played it, but I could see myself really liking it.
You know what game actually you might really enjoy is
What's that?
it's a game called A Robot Named Fight.
Let me look this up.
I'm so glad I'm bringing your attention to this game because I feel like this is a winner. It's not very expensive, not that that matters. It's a roguelike Metroid game,
Oh wow.
or a roguelite. Sorry, oh my god. It's got pretty tight controls actually. It plays like, like control wise, it's more like original, not original Metroid, but like Super Metroid.
Uh-huh.
And it's got the same kind of like
Yeah,
Metroid
it
esque.
looks exactly like yeah, there's like a picture. This is like basically Mother Brain. But yeah, that's a really cool concept. I like that.
It's pretty cool. I put a couple of hours into it. Like I know that's not a lot for a roguelike. I probably put more, but like I guess I just wasn't down to like master another one of these games. Like that sounds so like aggrandizing of myself, I guess, but like
No, I know what you mean.
it was a lie. I was like, I know this is gonna take a long time for me to get good at, and I just don't have the wherewithal to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I
Yeah.
decided to play Monster Train for about 160 hours.
This does seem really cool. I'm gonna keep an eye on this because that sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah, for sure.
It reminds me of I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's also, I believe it's also a roguelite. And it's got, Neon Abyss. That's what it's called.
Oh, I've
Is
played
that a
that one.
roguelite?
Yeah, I that one's funny because it was the first game I played that felt kind of redundant. Oh, hey, I got to level 10. Uh, I played that one. It felt like every single thing it did was a carbon copy of something else I had played. Like a majority of the mechanics in it were, I felt like, kind of pulled right out of The Binding of Isaac. And
Oh yeah.
it's not like it was bad. I actually quite enjoyed it. I know it's like a side scroller, right? It's not a
Hmm.
top down. So it's like obviously it's going to play a little bit different. And it did play a little bit different. But like seriously every single thing I was like, "Oh, this is just like a kind of a remix." And like on one end I'm like that doesn't really bother me. If anything, I'd be kind of interested to play a remix of Isaac because it's like at least I haven't played that for, 600 hours.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, but on the other hand, I feel like I just played that for 600 hours.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. I honestly, I don't think I can get behind using a keyboard and mouse for that game. Like, it just feels weird for a side scroller to use a mouse. I know there's a lot of games out there that do it, but it just seems like such like an awkward method of controlling. I just want to use a controller when I play those games.
I'm not sure what
Didn't it have mouse controls?
it might have, but did I mention using the mouse and keyboard with it?
Oh, can you use like a C stick or something?
I was using a gamepad.
Oh, huh. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. I don't know. It was like a side scroller, but you aim with a mouse.
A side scroller, but you aim with the mouse.
Yeah.
Huh. I know. I mean, like, I that kind of like I'm pretty sure I played Neon Abyss with the mouse. I'm not sure,
Huh.
but either way, I don't remember. Like I don't remember like that didn't really stick out to me. Well, I mean, what stuck out to me were like the items, how they like work, and how they like how you build, and like how the game kind of incites the player or the main character to like snowball in much the same way. Like you are really meant to kind of grow out of control and power. Not that that's not like none of those things are exclusive to Isaac, but it felt very similar in
Hmm.
a like this is good if I never played Isaac, but I guess I did.
Yeah, just not a lot of new.
What's I mean like there's been like a couple occasions where it's like there's a game. I mean, I kind of wouldn't mind playing. Like you play a game. It's like this really is just the same thing again. I played a game called like think Dragon's Keep. I'm gonna have to look at it. It's on in my playlist somewhere. But it was like a carbon copy of The Legend of Grimrock. Nope, never mind. I'll never be able to find it. It's lost in there somewhere. Oh, could it have been Talomir? Have you played Talomir?
I've never heard of that. Let me look it up.
It's that one's a side-scrolling kind of platforming uh, game. I don't know why it's got mixed reviews. That's kind of upsetting. It's
I've never seen this.
it's actually really good. It's got it's got that kind of like brand of a roguelite where you like you find different weapons and they all work a little bit differently, and it's actually really brutally difficult, but it's got multiplayer in it, which I would like to try at some point.
Huh.
Oh yeah, here we go. I just got the Prox's lucky halfling foot.
That's weird that you got it in this dungeon.
What
Right?
does
Like,
it?
not even from Prox.
Oh, is this? Well, this might be Prox. Where is Prox?
He's in the old, or not the old forest, in the Trollmire.
Oh, Was that not Trollmeyer?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I think I end up not using Prox's Lucky Foot.
I don't even remember what it does.
It gives you luck, believe it or not.
Who
I
would've
didn't
thought?
know. I didn't know that the luck stat was a thing, but it is, and it gives you some luck, and it gives you some other like passive stats. But what I had instead was like a pretty good poison. It wasn't great, but it gave me some really really good passive benefits that I decided to roll with. I'll never figure out how to do these alchemist quests.
Yeah, I've never completed one yet. Usually there's one ingredient that's just really, really tough.
I have completed one, but I don't know how I did it.
I mean, you just have to just grind and hope that you get the item, I think, right?
I think there's an element of that. I think you're also meant to like sort of suss out where the different enemies come from.
Yeah. I think once you sort of memorize it, it's probably easier. But usually one of them, from my experience, maybe I just keep on getting the same quest, but it usually requires like a vampire fang or something, which I think you need to go to Dreadfell for, which is tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, and then like you only have a certain amount of time before the quests start like failing on you.
Is that true? Did that happen to you?
It did happen to me. It was on this, I think the same game where I completed one of those quests, and it just said, "Hey, one of the other alchemists has like completed their goal," and then that was just like locked.
Oh wow!
I think I can't remember. Like I was still able to help specifically that alchemist, which is kind of weird. It didn't like change anything because I think they want to complete their goal like multiple times in order to get into the guild.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it's one of those things you really go for if you think you can go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I just understood a little bit better. I kind of wish that included in the quest is like, hey, they're talking about this creature. You can find them in this dungeon. I know that's a little bit simplified, or it makes it maybe a bit casual, but like for real, I wouldn't mind solving the quest. It's just really difficult to know where you're supposed to go.
I guess you can just look at it on the wiki if you really wanted to.
I suppose there's that. I don't know. The more I play roguelites, the more I appreciate when they are doing their best to be accessible, and the more I kind of wish they would even go a little bit further in that direction. I feel like that's one of the reasons that roguelites have taken off so much, and roguelikes are kind of like, there's still a niche thing. It's just like kind of like falls on the player to do a lot of the work that they don't necessarily have to do in a lot of other games,
Yeah. You don't need like a second monitor with a guide on it to be able to play whatever.
I kind of wish that never, like, I don't know, oh, you know what, let me finish my thought in the next episode. I'm going to talk about how I think that roguelikes could be more accessible. I think this is interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna cap off this episode. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like button, and give me an RRF in chat for the lost audio that Microsoft literally broke into my house and stole from my hard drive. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.